Syndalla, you work for the infamous crime lord, Thane Ankira. Recently, you botched a job, which resulted in the arrest and execution of the man with whom you worked. You managed to convince Thane not to feed you to his hounds. But this is only on the condition that you succeed in recovering the Tome of Blacktongue. If you fail in this, your life and the life of your son will be forfeit. Crucos, you are descended from the centurion Magro Valosa, better known as Blacktongue. He was a mighty soldier and war champion in his day. On one of his expeditions, he uncovered a strange tome from which he studied constantly. He eventually wielded a fearsome magic that allowed him to bestow vile curses upon his enemies. Nowadays, your bloodline has nearly perished. It is up to you to reclaim your ancestors' forbidden book for the sake of preventing the demise of House Velosa and reclaiming its power and glory. Lae'dellik the community from which you hail, the Whitewater tribe, has learned of the location of an evil book known as the Tome of Blacktongue. This item contains forbidden, wicked knowledge which you must recover and return to your fellows. The knowledge and power contained within the tome is not understood by many, and nothing good can come of its usage. Syndalla had been given instructions and a basic map, which led the party to the undercity of Vitus. The group followed the guidelines into a gloomy, crumbling crypt, the Tomb of Blacktongue. There, they encountered gruesome inhabitants guarding the area. The undead warrior, Vargarat, was slain, as was the worm-like monstrosity he commanded as a pet. But the undead spider lady, Charlixa, escaped into the shadowed passageways after being badly wounded. The party currently rests, bandaging wounds and gathering their strength. The party takes a minute to look over Vargarat's body for anything useful. Syndalla plucks an agate gem and an old iron key from the corpse. This smooth-cut stone of multicolored stripes is worth 50 gold pieces. She pockets the item as discreetly as possible. Lae'dellik notices and furrows his brow.
Finders keepers.
Don't even think about holding out on us.
What? It's just this gem. We'll go to a money changer when we're done and split the coins.
And
this key. We may need it. I will hold on to it.
The three return to their respite. Crucos fixes an armor scale, while Lae'dellik quietly chants to calm his nerves. Syndalla wipes the worm beast's stinking green muck from a crossbow bolt.
We shall continue. My work here is not done yet.
Why don't you just tell us what it is exactly that you're looking for?
How many times do I have to explain? My work is my own business.
When my life is put on the line, while you hide in the back, it becomes my business.
It's not my fault you are unskilled at evading those who wish to harm you.
It's only because I held my ground against the foe that we survived.
You choose your tactics, as I choose mine.
I face my enemies. It's what I'm good at. Apparently this is a talent that you lack.
I have many talents. They're just not brutish and blatant.
Lae'dellik ceases his subtle chanting and looks up. You seek the grave of the warrior once known as Blacktongue.
What do I care of some moldering corpse? I seek a secret trove of gold to pay off a debt I owe.
Crucos steps closer to Syndalla and scowls. I've met cowards before. They are always liars.
I have met brutes before. They always talk out of their asses.
Whatever, woman. Don't expect me to stick my neck out for you.
Ha! I never will have for you.
What is it with you city folk? So many of you, living close together, yet so distant.
I am close to those worth being close with.
How can someone be worth anything if you don't first give them worth?
Don't bother, Druid. She's never been outside the city walls. She wouldn't understand.
Just how much you know.
Syndalla abruptly begins walking down the main corridor. Where are you going?
To look around, of course. We're getting nowhere standing around bickering about things that don't matter.
Lae'dellik, she is what you would call...
No, I would rather not. Let us move on, brother of battle.
Brother? I'm not your brother, Archai. Crucos turns to proceed, and in doing so, fails to see Lae'dellik's expression of offense, having his words of respect rejected so. Underneath the druid's calm exterior, a savage storm churns. He exhales a long grumble and follows in suit behind the iron-scaled fighter. The three ascend the first flight of stairs. What's that way?
You don't want to go that way.
They head to their left, the passage now illuminated by torchlight. Two large sickle blades block the way ahead, still and extended out of slots in the wall. Syndalla looks it over.
This trap is sprung, and the old hinges are rusted in place. Come on.
The party jumps over the old expended blade trap and down the next set of stairs. They enter a chamber with cracked stone walls. A closed stone door merely 15 feet away is the only other exit. There is a hole in the middle of the floor, and the flagstone is broken and strewn, revealing the darkness below. Something in the hole catches Syndalla's eye. Lurking in the shadowed aperture is a massive, pale worm with an eyeless face and a vicious maw. The thief immediately gestures for her companions to back up, and they promptly exit back into the main corridor.
I don't know what in the hell that thing was lurking in the pit, but it was big and really ugly.
Living under the ground does not bestow beauty.
I couldn't see it, but I can't imagine anything pretty living in a tomb. At least we know it's there, so let's go have a look back in the other room. The party returns to the large chamber, Syndalla describing the worm hiding in the hole as they go. Lae'dellik lights a new torch to accompany Crucos's. They step close to the edge of the drop-off, where they'd heard the moans just earlier. Two short sets of stone steps lead down to a small platform. More steps lead off from it, but they are ruined and crumbled, the last 10 feet or so completely missing, and a pile of broken chunks collected at the bottom. The far side of the room features a collapsed section of wall. Two stone doors face each other on opposite sides of the room. One appears to lead back into the room with the hole. This ruined, lower den is occupied by a group of zombies, shambling and groaning. They raise their heads and hands malevolently at the sudden appearance of the adventurers, who are some 30 feet up on the ledge above. Ugh, horrible.
They can't get up here. The stairs are ruined. I could take them down with my crossbow.
Unless you brought a couple spare cases of bolts. I don't see that working. Having pondered Syndalla's description of the thing in the hole, Lae'dellik feels certain that the creature is a crypt worm. This creature is distantly related to the purple worm, and generally reaches 10 to 15 feet in length. Crypt worms are known to burrow into catacombs and tombs, where they feast upon corpses. They are dangerous when intruded upon, using powerful, latching bites and sprays of acid which the creature typically will use to help weaken structures that it wishes to break into. The worm's diet consists of decaying matter, but it will kill live prey, then use its acid to quickly jumpstart the decomposition process.
The thing in the hole is a crypt worm. It would devour the walking corpses.
Interesting. Very interesting. The trick is, how do we get it down there?
Those doors look like they connect from the worm's room to the zombies.
I can't exactly just ask the zombies to let me pass by so I can open the doors. Besides, that would have me stuck in between them and the worm.
No, go the other way. Enter from the direction of the worm's lair, then lure the zombies in there. We can buy you some time by throwing Vargrat's body into the hole.
Not bad at all. But once the zombies are chasing me, they will just come through the passageway into the main corridor.
After you run out, we will block the passage with those.
Lae'dellik gestures to the pile of stone sarcophagi in the opposite corner.
It's the best plan, unless you want to go purchase
6 crossbow bolts.
Not particularly.
Let's get to work then.
Crucos and Lae'dellik move to the other side of the room, taking care to step over the pathway of the acid trap. There are a number of stone sarcophagi piled in disarray in the corner. As the two go to grab hold of the first sarcophagus, Crucos notices that the pile is inhabited with a colony of centipedes. They are rather large vermin, 1 to 2 foot long apiece, and they skitter among the dark, dank stone slabs. They now look poised to strike at these intruders coming to disturb their home. Damn it, wait!
What is it?
Centipedes. Big ones. The two men step back, out of reach of the poisonous vermin. They look every which direction for something that might furnish a solution. Lae'dellik opens a large hempen satchel and produces a length of fibrous rope. At the end of the rope is attached some sort of thick bone, which ends in multiple hooked spikes. A grappling hook. Tsuku Sejin. Terrific. Let's drag one out. Lae'dellik tosses the hooked bone, catches it on one of the sarcophagi, and drags it away from the pile. 2 centipedes, each as long as a man's arm, scurry out and back into the pile of stony coffins. The pair repeats the process until they have gathered 4 of the sarcophagi. They then drag them to the corridor next to the entrance of the side passage. Syndalla gives them a serious glance.
Who's the brave one now?
I would love for you to prove me wrong.
I'm sure you would.
Lae'dellik hands her his torch. She eyes the 4 heavy stone burial slabs.
Listen to me. You do not seal the blockade until after I exit the passageway. I don't care if we end up having to fight zombies face to face. You will not barricade me in there with them.
The thought hadn't even occurred to me. You've spent too much time around thugs and undercity scum.
Swear it. Upon the Divine Lord. Swear it.
I do not know you, woman, but I would never give you over to the walking corpses. No one deserves such a fate.
I swear to the Lord at my own choice, not the demands of a paranoid thief.
Father shits.
Syndalla leaps over the sickle blades, and the 2 men follow behind her with Vargrat's body. They reach the entryway of the worm lair. Crucos and Lae'dellik, holding the wrists and ankles of the undead swordsman, hurl the body into the broken floor hole. There is a small commotion within the burrow, then the sound of the creature beginning to feast. Syndalla does not hesitate a second longer. She springs to the nearby door and pulls the heavy stone open. Beyond is a slender passage filled with descending steps. Without time to lose, she hastens to the next stone door, which has a lock built into it. Using Vargrat's key, she unlocks the door and pulls it open. Every zombie in the adjoining den turns to notice the woman standing in the newly opened entryway. Syndalla spins around, then dashes back up the stairs as quickly as possible. Her nerves prevent her from achieving her most expedient flight, but she at least keeps from stumbling over the steps as she goes. She rounds the corner in the worm lair, where she hears the grisly noise of the thing feasting on Vargrat's pallid, unnatural matter.
I'm almost there!
She leaps over the sickle blades and up the last stretch of stairs. Crucos and Lae'dellik, ready and waiting, shove the first stone coffin down the stairs, then go to pile another, then another, as best they can. Finally, they put the last in place, using all their muscles to wedge the heavy slabs between the blade trap and the steps. The zombies struggle, but there is no way for them to force their way forward. The frontmost zombie, smashed by the weight of all the others into the large blades, gets sliced in half. Then comes the horrid noise of the crypt worm's trill, as its head pops up from the hole to exude a spray of acid onto the zombies. Then to snatch one of the shambling corpses and pull it into the dank burrow for a gruesome feast.
How many can that thing eat? I'm not sure. Probably many.
Can he eat all of them?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. They'll be trapped in a moment.
Syndalla brandishes the iron key.
Let's do it.
The party moves quickly to the stair platform. Using Lae'dellik's hooked rope, they descend into the lower den safely. Syndalla goes down first, sprints to the door, pulls it shut and locks it.
Brilliant!
Ha! Did you recognize any of them? They looked like Vaishan citizens.
I didn't exactly wait around to get a good look at them.
They probably are. But you know what? Better them than me. I hate this unnatural place. Let's hurry.
That door looks locked too. Let me try the key.
Once again, Vargrat's key grants access to the passageway beyond. The twisting path reveals 3 small chambers. The 2 smallest are not more than some 10 feet wide, and have strange engravings in the floor which resemble stylized, monstrous faces. The faces have sharp, geometrical features, including wide, sinister eyes and a mouth of triangular, interlocked teeth. Syndalla discovers that the first face's right eye appears to function like a button. It can be pressed in, and at the sight of this, the party backs up. Lae'dellik draws his pike. He uses the long haft to push in the stone, square-shaped eye. The mouths of both faces instantly snap open. The gaping maws appear quite menacing, with the sharp-edged teeth seemingly ready to clamp shut at any moment. The explorers look within the recesses of the mouths. Scattered loosely within the first mouth is a number of small, flat iron pieces fashioned into geometrical shapes. Alongside the metal bits is a smooth stone peg affixed to the floor, clearly some sort of knob. Engraved and set into the base of the second mouth is some sort of puzzle board, composed of perpendicular and crisscrossing lines. 7 of the line segments are already affixed with tiny dark iron bands. Their minds working keenly, the 3 adventurers focus on the puzzle at hand. They determine that the iron segments need to be placed onto the open slots in the second mouth, using each of the pieces and not overlapping any edges. For a few minutes, they arrange the metal segments, continually nervous that the vicious teeth may slam closed, violently taking with them a hand. At last, the puzzle is completed to their satisfaction. The 3 then look at each other. Now the real test.
I feel sure that we completed it correctly.
Syndalla, you should turn the knob. You have the quickest hands.
Oh, brave warrior. You should have no fear. The talented Syndalla shall get you through.
It's the wisest choice. Besides, I need both of my hands. One for a shield, and the other for the weapon.
Very well. But if some great treasure appears, I get the first pick.
We already agreed that any valuables we come across, we shall equally share.
Do you want to stick your hand in there? If it gets bitten off, you're not going to be swimming or climbing too well any longer.
Enough of this, you fork-tongued she-devil. We draw straws to select who turns a knob. Then we split the find, even shares.
Insults and logic make an awkward pair.
I will face the danger and turn the knob. Then we shall share equal.
The other two do not respond, yet merely gesture indignantly for the Archai to proceed. Lae'dellik crouches and reaches his partially webbed, sea-colored hand into the frightful mouth. He gives the knob a good twist, then quickly pulls back. There is a rumble underfoot, and the floor tiles of the bigger third room spread open. A well-fashioned stone sarcophagus arises, complete with a bas-relief of a mighty centurion. And the adventurer's eyes grow wide as they draw next to the somber object. Syndalla checks to make sure there are no final traps, then signals to her companions.
Let's open it.
The three lift the heavy stone lid and set it aside. Resting within is the skeletal remains of Magro Valosa, donned in armor that once must have been most impressive to behold, but now is but a rusted and oxidized husk. Clenched in the thing's bony fingers is a massive, ominous book.
Whatever knowledge is contained within that tome is the cause of all this corruption. I will take it to ensure it is safeguarded from falling into the wrong hands, and hopefully I'll find a way to destroy it.
I don't think so. If there's one thing my employer will want, it's that thing. You two can keep the whatever else is here.
This is my ancestor, Magro Valosa. I'm of his bloodline, and this relic is the rightful property of my family. Neither of you can stake a claim to it. I've traveled far to Vitus to locate this foul book and make sure its evil influence is put to an end. There is a much bigger importance than either of your personal wishes.
Listen, Archai. This book represents my life and the life of my son. Nothing you can say is going to convince me to let it just slip away.
Are you deaf? I am descendant of this centurion. By honor and birthright, this is my property!
The grave robber, the descendant, and the archivist. All are at great odds. Each stare is locked upon the other two, waiting for someone to make a move.